Imperial knights that serve the ruinous powers have been a thorn in the Imperium's back since the days of the Horus Heresy, when entire knight houses betrayed the Emperor of Mankind and sided with the War Master Horus. Some of these treacherous Chaos Knights still march against mankind in the current millennium, their mutated armor having survived the 10,000-year-long war. One of these knight houses is House Makabius. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about the Traitor House Makabius. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day, and this isn't really a Nurgle video, but this knight house is, it ends up being tied to the Primarch Mortarion, so I just wanted to throw that out there, because usually what happens is when I get sick, I've been sick right now, which is why my nose is so nasally and stuff, or the sound is so nasally, but what I try to do is when I get sick, I try to create videos on the god of disease and decay, Nurgle. So in this situation, it's a little bit different, just so that I don't constantly throw out Nurgle videos, but I hope you guys enjoy. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts on House Makabius. One of the many night worlds seeded towards the end of the Dark Age of technology was the planet of Baroda. This world was a terrestrial-type planet with a wide range of climates that created a unique and fertile land. The vegetation provided nutrients to the native reptilian megafauna. These were massive creatures capable of destroying entire towns if provoked that resembled the ancient Terran dinosaurs. It was up to the knights of the planet to defend the human settlements from these deadly creatures. Isolated within the grip of the Grell Abyss, Baroda was spared from outside influence and alien assaults during the Age of Strife, but suffered from terrible climate storms. Having been colonized during the Dark Age of technology, most of Baroda's easily accessible mineral resources had been exploited in millennia past, resulting in an ever-increasing lack of resources, which led in turn to frequent clashes between its knight houses for power and control. The lack of resources ultimately kindled a full-scale war between the knight houses for possession of the last minerals and stormproof fortress refineries, many knights being now powered by reverse-engineered petrochem engines. This civil war would last for Terran centuries, ending in the late 30th millennium, with the fall of the last stronghold of House Wentworth. It left House Makabius as the sole ruler over Baroda's storm-tossed oceans. By the time Baroda was reclaimed by the Imperium, even the surviving Makabius knights had been reduced to fossil fuel-burning, ill-repaired hybrids of what had come before. While rejoining the Imperium and contact with the Mechanicum rejuvenated Baroda's technology and gave it a place from something greater, its isolation in the Grell Abyss still served to keep it far from regular contact and influence. This integration wasn't, however, obtained peacefully, as the warlike and proud House Makabius refused to simply submit to these strangers from another world. Battle was joined by Arbin Moore, when the Astartes of the Imperial Fist Legion swiftly defeated the pride of House Makabius' knight in a ritual battle. Praised for their tenacity by the Imperial Fist, but ultimately denied an important role at the forefront of the Great Crusade due to its neglected state, House Makabius was left with no other choice than to stay behind on their homeworld and slowly rebuild. In the years that followed, the flower of Baroda's noble youth fled the world, its young knights joining the forces of the Great Crusade as Questores, never to return. Many turned Freeblade if they were forbidden by their lords in a vain attempt to stall the Exodus. Tension eventually mounted between House Makabius and the recently rediscovered House Vironi, which they saw as a rival for the patronage of Forge World Mizoa, to whom both the houses looked for supplies and equipment. Sadly, open war was purely avoided by the Makabius' lack of interstellar transportation and functional knight armor. It would be then that one of the exiled knights of Makabius, Markin Rothman, would distinguish himself. He drew the attention of War Master Horus. Already turned traitor, it would prove easy for Horus and his agents to prey upon the resentment of House Makabius and make them renounce their oath of fealty to the Emperor. With the War Master's new favor, Baroda and House Makabius entered a short period of prosperity. As would later be realized by the Imperial historians, the military buildup of House Makabius would be part of the opening moves of Horus's rebellion, and it was achieved shortly before the Isstvan III atrocity. Having denounced its ties to the Forge World of Mizoa, new knight armor and weapons flowed from the War Master's Dark Mechanicum allies to Baroda, and House Makabius quickly grew stronger. As the Imperium tore itself apart in the catastrophic event of the heresy, House Makabius naturally sided with their new patron and benefactor, the traitor Warmaster Horus. In the closing days of the 31st millennium, the war reached the Coronate Deeps. By then, Baroda was already on a war footing, eager to cover itself in glory in this new war that was now erupting across the Imperium. Only a few months later, a great war fleet arrived in orbit of Baroda. As the Knights of House Makabius assembled, ready to join the armies of the Warmaster, they were instead confronted by Mortarion, the Lord of the Death Guard Legion. Granted authority by the Warmaster, Mortarion took command of House Makabius and all of its assets, ordering Baroda stripped of all remaining resources, both mineral and human, in order to supply his own fleets, and he assigned the warriors of the Night House as shock assault troops for his grim legion. The leader of House Makabius, Lord Protector Markin, was summoned to attend the Primarch personally, and he was never seen from again, though it is said that his throne mechanicum chambers were sealed from the outside and was cited in several battles during the heresy, fighting with a measure of savagery like no other. Lacking Markin's direct leadership, the only option for the Makabius house was participating in dark compliance actions. And as the warriors of the house left Baroda behind, its gutted carcass remained as a grim example of the Reaper's method. All its dreams of glory were given over to Mortarion's campaign of genocidal destruction. It is rumored that recently the corrupted sigil of House Makabius has been spotted during the Plague Wars, where the demon Primarch Mortarion launched an all-out assault on the realm of Ultramar. These Chaos Knights are coated in living rust and grotesque mutations that appear both painful and disgusting. They are some of the most resilient fighters, however, and their depleted and decaying armor should not be underestimated. These demonic engines of war are capable of destroying entire armored regiments in a disgusting fury of acidic warp flames. And that's the lore to House Makabius. I hope this video inspires you guys to bring in a Chaos Knight into your army. Thank you guys so much for listening, and yeah, see you later. This is Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.